Hello, hello, welcome back. And today we're talking about, yes, sugar and the correct diet that I've been feeling absolutely fabulous on, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And if you're new here, my name is Amanda, and we talk everything about how to be our best selves in every way so we can be our own dream girl. So today we're talking about sugar. And studies have shown that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Yes, you heard that right. And I hope YouTube doesn't flag me for saying that word. But it's pretty much a drug. And it hits the same part in our brain that cocaine does. That's why it is so addictive. And that's why food companies put it in everything. And so that we keep wanting to eat their stuff so that we buy more. And the thing is that sugar is not a nutrient for our body. It, in fact, is an anti-nutrient. It's like a poison, and it kills our body. It destroys, our gut lining. It, makes us put on extra pounds, which makes everything in our body work harder. It does all kinds of bad things, which you probably already know, so I'm not going to go into it. But I know everyone says that stop eating sugar, and it's so hard. And it's because it's addictive. And I don't want to preach about this because I know no one enjoys that. I know I certainly didn't when I was younger either. But seriously, just getting sugar out of the diet is such a big one. And so I wanted to do this little video because I kind of had a little bit of a relapse the other day. Certain times when you're just on, or yeah. So for me, I was on my monthly thing, and I was working really hard that day. We were at the job, and so I was just extra more tired than usual. And I don't know why, but I get kind of shaky when I'm really hungry. And so I come home and I had made brownies for my brother and my dad. And I had to hide it in my closet because otherwise, my dad will eat too many of them, and we're trying to make sure that he stays healthy. So they were mainly for my brother, so I had them in my closet. So guess what I did? In that moment of weakness, I went to my closet and had quite a few brownies. And I had completely stopped doing sugar, and I relapsed and completely had sugar. In fact, I even had a chocolate box in there of chocolates that I would sometimes bring out for dad, the little ones from Costco, because he really loves them, but just so he doesn't finish off the whole box, I had them in my room. So guess what I did? I polished off the whole box. It wasn't very many, it was I don't know, 6 in there left, but still it was something I shouldn't have done. And I'll say that I didn't feel bad afterwards. I felt bad because I gave into the basic part of me that's always just eat the thing, you deserve it, or you worked really hard today and you're not feeling very good, so just have some. And so I was really mad at myself because I gave into that, because I usually do not feel good on sugar, and it makes my face break out, and it makes me feel a little bit bloated, and all the things. I've been keeping really careful track so that I know not to eat sugar, and so I ended up doing it. Actually, it ended up being just fine. It wasn't anything terrible that happened. But I know for a lot of people, especially when you get older, it's not a good thing. And, or our bodies don't handle it as good as when we're younger. But yeah, the next day, my eyes were just super dry, and I just felt super tired. And so that's why I'm staying away from sugar and all grains. Because if you look into the wheat belly diet, and look into Dr. Davis, I think, who talked about it. It's amazing, and also kind of scary what they put in the grains these days, especially in these Western countries. It is so bad for us and completely kills our bodies. And anyhow, definitely go look those things up. It is crazy. And I always knew that I would always exercise so much and try to be so healthy, but I would never really see a difference. I'd still have a bloated stomach. And I hated having to constantly be sucking my stomach in to look slim, so that my dresses or when I was wearing tuck-in would just be so my stomach would be perfectly flat. And it would always make me sick to have to be sucking my stomach in like that. But once I took grains out of my diet and sugar, immediately my stomach is completely flat. And so this works, this literally works. and it works for everyone. And I don't think there's anyone that should be eating grains and sugar, honestly. Like, you just take those out, do a 10-day detox, and you will feel amazing. You'll see the pounds, like dripping off of you. And that's another thing because, let's see, where should I start with this? So, when I was younger, when I was very, very competitive and I was in extremely intellectually and competitive events. And there was one of them that I was extremely stressed out for, and I was going to nationals. In fact, anything I ever did, I went to nationals because I'm that kind of a person. If I'm into something, I'm giving it my best and I'm getting a PhD in it. Like, that's how I'm built, and I've learned to balance that out now that I'm older. But when I was younger, it was definitely that only masculine drive. And so I was around 130 pounds when I was 15, and I'm almost 5'8". I'm like 5'7" and a half. And so I definitely felt fat and not good. I could definitely feel that I was not feeling my best. I was super insecure. I had to keep on getting bigger sizes for things. And I was also super stressed out, so I was like eating all these sugar things. Like, mom would bring back these like, what are they called? Lemon tarts? Or I can't remember, but they were so good. They were from Wildflower when they still had the lemon ones. And yeah, I would just be eating those because I was like, oh, I'm studying so hard, so I kind of like deserve it, or whatever what was going in my mind. So I gained a lot of weight because I was always like a super skinny kid. And so then I didn't feel very good. But then as the nationals got closer, I just like lost all this weight because I was so stressed out. I couldn't eat. I would feel really bad if I ate. So I pretty much like stopped eating, kind of. And at nationals, when I was at nationals and I weighed myself, I was 115 pounds. And that was I was not healthy. That was not a healthy weight for me because I was not eating and it was not good. So that was not a good weight, but that was the lightest I've ever been. And so then after that, I kind of like stopped, judging my weight. I stopped weighing myself after that because after nationals, I could tell I was gaining weight again because I was eating, right? And I always felt bad when I'd get on the scale, and I had this really rough mental image with me and the scale. And when I'd look in the mirror, I'd always see myself as fat. And my brother would be showing me his like health book and being like, see, you're just like, he'd be learning about anorexia and the stuff you learn about in health. And he's like, you're just like the girl, and he'd show me the picture that she's so skinny and she's looking in the mirror and showing her, seeing herself as a fat person. And he was like, you're just like that. Like, you need to stop. And so eventually I did. I finally, you guys know my story. I got in good terms with my weight and everything. And that only happened because I was exercising and, reclaimed my self-image, fixed that, and, my mindset and all of that. And I changed my eating habits because that was one thing where especially our moms are always like, eat more, eat this, you're too skinny, like, why aren't you eating this? You're being so difficult. But the thing is, we know what feels good to us and what doesn't. And when people say, oh, everything is fine in moderation, well, that is not true because you see what everyone out there says that, and you see what everyone looks like. That does not put you in the top 1% of the top 1% of the moderation thing. And I want to be in the top 1% of the top 1%. And I know you guys probably want to be better than average, because average is pretty bad, especially in America. So the change happened for me when I took the wheat and sugar out of my diet. And I feel like that's what's made my skin like really glowing, and I don't have that many breakouts. Like, of course my skin isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than most kids. And especially when I was younger, during those ages where, you do break out. It like almost completely stopped it for me. Like, I almost didn't have any breakouts, and it definitely wasn't really bad. So I was really thankful for that. And I think diet plays a huge role in it. Definitely not all the role, but a pretty big part. So definitely watch what you're eating. And so going back to the story I gave in the, oh, okay, now let's stick with this. So then I became like, the past year I was about 125 pounds, and I was super happy with that. I was like, cool, that's a good number, I can live with that. I did not like seeing the number 130. Um, and then in like June, July, I was going to this function and this youth meeting, and it was like going to be this big thing, and I wanted to be on my A game. So I was exercising, I was eating right, and all of that. And I was about 123 pounds at that time, and I was like, this is my A game. And then I went to the place, and being around all the people, and I don't know, it just makes me a little bit nervous. And I love people, but it's just something just makes me a little bit, I guess, uneasy inside. Or I don't know, maybe it's just my personality. It's something I'm still working on. But I couldn't eat, and so I dropped to, at the end, I was like 122 pounds, or 122 pounds when I weighed myself. And then I was like, wow, well, this is the lightest I've ever been. This is probably the lightest I'll ever be. So I was thinking that, okay, I'll still, 122 or 123 pounds. I like those numbers. 122, 123, those are cool numbers. But then I learned about the carnivore diet, which like Jordan Peterson is on, his daughter, who had so many issues, and now she's like super, or a lot healthier now. And I was looking at all these like research and stuff on it, because I was already pretty keto in my diet of just having meat and vegetables as it was. And then I saw this interview, and I was like, wow, carnivore diet actually has all the nutrients we need, because I always felt like you'd be missing something. So then I started making sure I was mainly eating meat and not so many vegetables, because vegetables just for me never fill me up, and it always makes me hungry, still hungry, and hangry. So meat is what fills me up and makes me feel great. I know this isn't for everyone, I'm just saying what's worked for me, and I'm not a doctor, so definitely, get your doctor's advice before you do anything. But yeah, carnivore diet has really been like amazing for me. I've been having even more of a flatter stomach. Like I've been like amazed. And because like exercise is just for tone. When you're wanting to lose weight, it's because it depends on what you're eating and feeding your body. Like if you're eating a whole bunch of grains and stuff, you are going to be bloated and be gaining weight or not losing weight, because you're getting a lot of anti-nutrients. So anyhow, I've just been having like eggs like in the morning with some meat, and even just canned meat. Like make it really easy. It can be super cheap. And in the middle of the day, I'll like have some meat and some dates or an avocado. Like I'm not gonna totally do carnivore, because I still love vegetables. It's just vegetables don't fill me up. So I'm making sure that I am filled up, because when I'm not, that's when I'm more inclined to eat, sugar and things I shouldn't be eating. And then for dinner, same thing, like meat or fish and some vegetables. And I promise you, you will feel like so amazing. And make sure you're having electrolytes and sleeping good and all those things. And magnesium is another important nutrient that I like to take, just because I deal with since I was little, like with these muscle cramps and all of these things. So magnesium is a really good one, and it helps with a whole bunch of other things too. And like B12, turmeric is really good to have, and vitamin C and vitamin D. And yeah, definitely like do this and drink your water and see the change. And I think you'll be really surprised if you actually just do this. Because losing weight or being your healthiest self, because I wasn't meaning to lose weight. I just want to be healthy and feel and look my best. And so the other day when I've been doing this more carnivore diet for a week, I weighed myself the other day, and I was expecting to find myself heavier, because on carnivore diet you can eat as much as you want, but our bodies know how to handle it, because that was the original homo sapien diet. So anyways, I was expecting myself to be heavier, and I was 120.8 pounds. So I was like, whoa, well this is new. I wasn't expecting to be that, but I feel super happy and vibrant. So it's definitely working, and I think that's what we all should choose, is not what some doctor says or whatever, but what actually our bodies feel good with. Because our bodies will talk to us and tell us if we get quiet enough to listen. And if we don't, then it will slap us in the face with a huge autoimmune disease or cancer or heart disease or obesity or some huge thing that will make us have to listen. So, and I probably look a little bit tired, or I definitely feel a little bit tired. That's one reason why I'm trying to figure out, or not figure out, but stick to this diet and stuff, because I get these like really dry eyes, which makes me not want to do anything, because it's hard to do anything when all you want to do is close your eyes because they're just so dry, and like this like super dry throat and like all these things, which I'm not going to go into, but I'm trying to heal like this autoimmune condition and or whatever I have going on. So I'm watching my diet, sleep, like just drinking water, taking in my vitamins, being super healthy, working on my mindset, exercise, meditation, praying, spending time outside, grounding, reading, spending time with family. Love is a healing thing. Enjoying time with friends, all these things, besides work, of course, but just balancing it out. And so I'm here just sharing my journey with you guys, and hope little parts of it help you guys to see certain things and help you to live your best life. And yeah, let me see if I had anything else to say. Man, I talked all that without any notes. Yeah, so what I was doing is, let's do this 30-day sugar detox. At least do it for 10 days, but try to do it for 30 days. And I know this is a hard time of year with Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I promise, with all the family and events, you're gonna be wanting to look like your best self in front of like everybody and be like super happy with your body and super happy with your skin and how you're feeling and everything. So yeah, definitely give it a try, because it's your life we're talking about, and I want you to just be, just so happy with your life and how you're feeling and everything, and just be truly happy. And that means getting our spirituality, our physical body, and our mental states, all in order. So that's what this channel is about. And if you're into that, definitely push the like button down there. And I know I never do, so I always think someone else will, but I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Helps the algorithm. And definitely subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.